Good? Okay. Let's talk about emotions again. I really don't remember when I have a strong negative emotions. In my whole life, I don't think I am sensitive, like emotionally sensitive person. It's not because like I meditate or I used to have like when I was young I have lots of powerful, strong negative emotions. Then I meditate and I had domination. Now I don't have not like that. But I just don't have. I didn't have very strong negative emotion. I don't think, I don't really remember.
You mentioned once that your mom would be very quick and
Yeah, that may be one, but yeah, I don't know. So maybe people are different. Some people don't have really maybe because of like I have very happy childhood, like maybe that's why, or maybe just my karma. I don't know. So anyway,
I have a question.
yeah.
Is devotion considered an emotion, an attachment, or both?
Well, I think kind of attachment, right?
Yeah, but also
We have this Tibet, the Buddhist philosophy. It's very complicated. Like we have at least 52 different emotions. Yeah, 52. You can list like 52 different emotions. I used to study those things, but very complicated. So. Okay, let's how should I start? Sometimes when we talk about emotions, sometimes you are just not aware of your emotions and just to get caught up in them, and then you want sort of to be able to stop them, but you can't do it at that moment, right? That's very normal. And also like you even don't remember how good things felt before, and you are unable to believe that you may feel good again, even though like nothing in your life has sort of significantly changed, but you feel like strongly that everything is kind of like hopeless, if I say. sometimes that's just the way you feel when you are in that kind of situation. Let's say, for example, like if you are angry with someone, you may think of like more reasons to be angry with that person, and with the result that you stay angry longer, because when you find more reasons, then you will get more angry, right? That means like because you are feeding your anger, the emotion. So you find another reason, or that time he did that, or another time, like, you find more reasons, and that keep longer, like that, your anger, because of that the reasons, Um, so what I'm saying is like the thing is that there are many ways that you can keep yourself from making difficult sort of emotions and even more intense, That's why I think this we call like old habits. They're very strong. So when you are angry or you're experiencing other uncomfortable emotions, and then we just replay over and over again in our mind, and whatever happened to make you sort of feel that way, and sometimes like you may also remember all the wrongs people have done to you, or all the mistakes you have made, all of that, making a list of past wrongs sometimes doesn't help resolve the current situation, and it only makes you more sort of upset. This is different, though. This is different from when you practice Bodhisattva. You remember the regrets, and then you make right away commitment, result, right? That's different. This one. So this the result of sort of remember the past, like you make mistakes and all this, the result of that, it makes you more sort of upset, I think, and then you feel a lot of self-blame if you keep your past wrongs in your mind, and without sort of commitment, without resolution, right? Resolution. Without that's I think the thing, like you keep the past wrongs in your mind, and then no commitment, then it only makes you more upset, and then you feel a lot of self-hatred and self-blame. That's why you have to focus only on the current situation in order to stop negative emotions and remind yourself to stay in this moment. That's why I think mindfulness practice is important. When we talk about mindfulness practice, mindfulness is we're talking about just this moment, right? So that's why teachers always say that if your mind goes to the past, they say like gently refocus your attention again and again on the present. That's why the teachers say meditate in short and frequently. When you are following your past thoughts, you should investigate whether it's helping or it's harming you, right? It's not necessarily always like wrong or negative you think about past thoughts. But the thing is, you have to sort of recognize, you have to investigate whether it's helping you or it's harming you. And when you are experiencing negative emotions, then it will be very helpful to, again, like to breathe in and out deeply and feel sort of the air enter your body and feel it as you release it. And just watch your mind try to let go of all your stress. And you know, sometimes the best way to release yourself from emotion is to distract yourself, right? Distract yourself. Even though, like, you know, according to, you know, these teachings, Buddhism, you know, like distraction is like your obstacle to your meditation, right? Distraction. We have like in Tibetan we say like yang means yang means like distraction. Opposite of yang is like mindfulness. So that's why we always, you know, recommended. The teachers always say, oh, mindfulness is the foundation of all of your meditation. Any kind of meditate, like, you know, without mindfulness, the practice mindfulness, then doesn't work, right? So that means like always, we have this always distractions, you know. But sometimes, you know, this power for emotions, when you experience, you know, like then the best way, I think, you know, release yourself from these emotions, distract yourself. As I said, remember, mindfulness of body or mindfulness of feeling is good too. Like, you know, playing a game, you know, I think the exercising is one of the best way to help you manage overwhelming emotions, especially like physical, exercise. Of course, these sort of distractions will not eliminate this emotion, your emotion, but temporarily they can help you sort of calm. And so distraction is actually not necessarily bad, right? The teachers say that it's like when you take shower and then your ear is watery, right? If you put more water in it, then the water will come out. That's the best way to clean your ear. So it's like similarly, your negative emotions are distraction, but sometimes you add in more another distraction, such as like exercise and all of this, like can help calm you, so you can eventually treat the original sort of distractions. So that's why it is called like the temporary solution. Temporary solution. Shamatha is another temporary solution, right? You practice shamatha, calm abiding is shamatha meditation. It's temporary solution. Shamatha meditation cannot diminish all your what do you call it? Afflictions, but temporarily it can make your mind very calm and peace like that. So we need like this kind of temporary solution, and then ultimate solution is meditate on the nature mind. That's it. That's the only way to diminish the subtle afflictions, such as ignorance, anger, jealousy, attachment, all of that. So there we have the temporary solution and ultimate solution. And sometimes when you are overwhelmed with your emotions, it's because you are thinking about, maybe, I'm not so sure, but maybe it's because you're thinking about the future. For example, maybe you think that there is no way you can eliminate your negative emotions. Or maybe you think that there is no way that you will attain sort of enlightenment. Or you may believe that your happiness is the result of achieving your goals. And you may believe that you will be happy when you have good family, or you have lots of money and good property, all of that. You're thinking about in future, right? Maybe every day your work leads you to have overwhelming emotions. Who knows? It's easily to become overwhelmed anytime you think about think about the end of your goal, I think. This is, I think, also kind of related to expectations. So the problem is that when you look to the future for your happiness, the problem is then you cannot be at peace in the present, this moment. You are always thinking about in the future, thinking about the goals, you know. I want this. And then you think about, if I have these obstacles, what should I do? Or then you make all these other, you know, emotions because of your expectations, which is because you're thinking about the future for your happiness, right? Even when you obtain what you wish for, there's always something more to obtain if you have no satisfaction. Then your mind is not really peaceful. Always full of thoughts. The future is not your life. The life is this moment, this one. This is your life, our life. But we're thinking about future most time in the future, which is also like that we're thinking about the end of our goals, like ordinary, the worldly, what do you call it, or people, or spiritual, you know, like these people, the spiritual people, like, oh, I want to meditate and I want to achieve enlightenment. You're thinking about the end of the goal. You're not working this moment with your thoughts and emotions, but you're just thinking about end of liberation. And the ordinary people, of course, thinking about, if I have this, I will be happy, blah, blah, blah. In order to achieve this, I have to do this. Then you have lots of obstacles. So I think looking for happiness in the future is not correct, I think. It means like you should be happy every day. So, you know, again, you know, the thing is, you know, expectations. Expectations make you feel like you are not a perfect person. That's what I feel, you know. If you have too much expectations, you know, expectations actually increase your negative emotions and what do you call it, the self-blame. So I think it is not healthy achievement. So there are many situations that lead you to have overwhelming emotions, right? We have to know that. We have to understand the causes of this overwhelming emotion. If any part of your life is difficult, and if you are focusing only on that difficulty, then you're going to experience more sort of negativities, you know, because you are not thinking about the other good part of your life, you know. If you are aware of all the situations that you are experiencing, then it will help you sort of balance your emotions, I think. I think this is very important. You should, did I say this? You should list both the positives and negatives of your situation, and then you compare them in terms of their true sort of importance, and then focus on the details of the positive experience or your fortunate situations. If you do this, I'm sure that you will see you have much more positive than negatives. If you do this, like compare, then you will see, oh, you're very fortunate and you have lots of good things, positive, But, if you focus on only on your negatives, then everything's, you can't see the other side. For example, if your car gets hit in a parking lot, all of a sudden you may have a strong negative emotions, right? Of course. And then you may think that your life is terrible, But if you really think about it, 99.9% of your life is going really well. Just only this. But it's just this this tiny sort of fraction of your life that has a problem. But all of a sudden that problem takes over your whole life. Instead, you should try to see your life more completely, and then you will be much more able to handle your negative emotions. That's another solution. You always need to sort of compare, both positive and negative. Then you will see. So this process can help you see the whole rather than over sort of focusing on the negative. So I think that is how you stop blaming yourself or others when you have a strong emotions that overwhelms you. So this is an important investigation, because sometimes people consider or see a small problem as a huge problem, right? I see that. Small problem. The teachers say it's like, believing that a rope is a snake. Rope is a snake, right? Multicolor rope is a snake. If there is a poisonous snake, it's huge, big problem, right? But it's not. It's just a multicolor like rope, but that's like, you have small problem, you make big. You make really big. Tibetans say, don't put more firewood in a small fire. Don't add more fuel to the flame, So when you have a small problem, don't make it big, We don't recognize that. We don't we don't compare positive and negative like that. As I said, like 99.9% of your life is really good. But then you have a small problem, you make huge. So if you eat it more like wood in the fire, and then it be very big and burns everything, right? Because it's getting bigger, getting bigger, bigger. Even though like the first was very small, but then. So that's, I think, very important. We have to see and investigate our life, the positive, negative, whatever, and then you will see for sure more positive, and then you appreciate, and then you very easily handle your negative small problem, you know. Now, I told you some solutions that can help you calm yourself when you are overwhelmed with your emotions. And now there's another solution that can help you calm yourself. Sometimes you're very like overwhelmed, you know, your emotions, then cry. Crying is another solution. Not all the time. Don't cry all the time. Sometime, okay? Sometime. It's good, you know, it's good because teachers say that crying is a way to express different emotions. People cry for joy as well as fear or sadness. Also, you know, some people also cry when they're angry, right? So teachers say that, you know, the chemicals released in your tears as well as in your brain can help you sort of feel better after crying. So if you're really like strong and over like these emotions, then you should cry very loudly, you know, like that's not like, silently, you know. And then after, you cry, after, crying, you feel really good, they say it, and then release everything. This because then you release the chemicals in your body. It helps you, Also, like this is temporary solution too, right? When you are really overwhelmed with emotion. Okay, that's another solution. I think it's kind of what is it? It's kind of like practice mindfulness of body, right, or feeling. It's very good. So practicing, these basic ideas can improve your ability to manage your emotions. So if you are a very sensitive person, you will be overwhelmed by your emotions more than others would be under the, same situation. So it's important to take care of yourself, So usually, like teachers say that, we all have less emotional control when we are sick or we are tired, I think it's true, very true. So that's why it's very important to take good care of our mind. Also, of course, our body. Physical health is very important, I think. Very, very important. So now all of these methods that I told you are, I think, important to use for when you are experiencing strong negative emotions. But more importantly, to understand that all of these methods that I told you need mindfulness and awareness. Okay? Without mindfulness, none of this method will work. That's why you remember 4 kinds of mindfulness. Mindfulness of body, mindfulness of emotion, feeling, mindfulness, phenomena, tamba, and then one is mindfulness of mind. Okay? And this mindfulness practice now is very common. Even like this armies and police, and they also like practice. Right now, I saw a movie in Canada. There's lots of police. They practice mindfulness. I'm sure they don't have good motivation, but when they have like difficult or dangerous circumstance, then it helps their mind really calm, so that they help what to do. If somebody try to kill you, and they know how to do it, right? So this is like very common. It's very helpful. Mindfulness is the root, is the foundation, right? All of our meditation. So it's mindfulness, different ways to meditate, right? So, and you don't have to be a Buddhist, right? Or meditator, whatever. So whenever you have difficult and your mind is not peace and really difficult to control, then you should remember mindfulness of body, mindfulness of feeling. What else? So all of these methods, you need mindfulness and awareness. Mindfulness will give you sort of pause between your emotion and your actions, so that your emotions will not be able to take control. And have mindfulness be a part of your regular daily activities. You have to, remember that. Make it a sort of habit to be mindful with whatever you do, right? Remember last time we talked about the mindfulness? Whatever. You drink a cup of tea or go outside to walk, whatever, just you should, it's whatever, be mindful whatever you do. It's good for your life, and it's very important. Now, okay, another meditation, okay? So usually the best way to start meditate on emotions is to be mindful of object. So in this meditation, this instruction is from one of my root teacher. So you focus on a feather, okay? And it's also combined with your breathing. So do you know this? You should start by visualizing a feather at the tip of your nose with your breath. Means, as you, for example, as you naturally breathe out, So you visualize a feather, tip of your nose, and then you breathe out. At the same time, your feather moves away, slowly moves away from your nose, and it, the feather gets sort of bigger and bigger. What kind of feather? It's fine, like, and it get bigger. This is visualization, right? Gets bigger and bigger and then expanding into the distance. Then rest. You rest there for as long as you want. So now your feather is very long distance and then it's huge, full of sky like that, right? So you focus on that. You focus on that, okay? While you're resting there, you're focused on there, don't worry about your breath. Don't worry about your breath. And you should focus on the feather. This is kind of another mindfulness practice, okay? And when your thoughts arise, then again you visualize. Again, visualize the feather with your breath and begin to breathe in, then feather comes back, slowly comes back towards, and it gets like smaller and smaller and smaller, right? And then your feather is here, tip of your nose, and then you pause, you focus on that, relax that. So if you relax on that, that prevents, like other thoughts. You have only one thought, which is feather, right? So at that time, don't worry about breath. If you want to breathe in and out many times, it's fine, but just ignore it. And once thoughts arise, you notice, and then you also visualize your breath and with the feather. And sometimes while you are meditating like this, you will notice, of course, your emotions arise, right? And that time, don't really ignore your emotions, but don't let them take over your attention either. So you should try to sort of gently be aware of your emotions as a part of your experience and your meditation. Means like do not lose the awareness of the object. Slowly allow yourself to enter more deeply into this calmness. So the point is just to keep the mind placed on the object. Remain aware of the present of the object. When the mind does get sort of distracted, then you have to bring it back to the object and leave it there. And sometimes it helps focus on the breath. Sometimes you don't need, just focus on the feather, the object. Do you understand? Okay, few minutes. Meditate on that. But this object is not. You can pick any kind of things like light or any kind of things. But this time we should maybe focus on the feather. Okay? For a few minutes, just try to relax and try not to think. For a second. So when you feel like your mind is here, your mind is in your body, then you are ready to visualize the feather and feather and your breath, and then meditate on that, okay, for a few minutes, please. In this meditation, you can keep your eyes closed, maybe, or open, whatever you're comfortable. Thank you very much. This kind of meditation, it's mindfulness meditation, shamatha. We have to meditate this every day, though. Here, like few minutes, almost nothing, right? Because our mind is like this old habit. always, you know, it doesn't stay for almost like few seconds and then wanders away, and then so it's like it doesn't work, you know, just like for a few minutes meditate. It's good experience, but if you really want a stable mind, if you really want to control emotions, negative emotions, then you really need to meditate every day, at least 15 minutes or something. Otherwise, you know, it's very difficult to sort of control and train our mind. So meditation is very important for all of us. Anyway, take a break for a few minutes. Thank you.